So then the English system came along, and the first modern pyramid was started. As we talked about before, the aristocracy was formed. It was required for the king to maintain control of a large territory, and only the aristocracy could take the power away from the king. The Magna Carta was created. King John was forced to sign it to really declare that he was basically a human being, that he didn't have unlimited powers. So now they had an environment that was a little bit more free. They started building castles and boats, and colonialism started. And then Oliver Cromwell came along and took it another step further, killed the king, formed a stronger parliament. King came back, but he was mainly a figurehead. And then simultaneously, the Renaissance happened. It was still controlled by the church, but the idea there was that the church and religion was important. It was an important pyramid. Even the most cynical person can't deny that. It really established the patronage for the sciences and the arts, allowed the Da Vinci's and the Galileos to come along in science and art and thinking to take our evolution to another step. Then the merchant class came out of that environment. And at that point, our society began to shift towards capitalism. But there was an old system in place. The religion and the kings were still there. So the secret society, the Freemasons, helped to shepherd capitalism along that transition that we had talked about earlier, from a religious pyramid to a capitalist pyramid in secret. And then the American Revolution came along. It was a factor of the Freemasons who wanted to create a more free environment. And then the French Revolution followed. Then Napoleon came along. He became a dictator, but he created the Napoleonic Codes, which were the first beginnings of modern law. We were done with the kings. We were done with the religion. We finally had law. We finally had an environment where we could create things and have property value. The Industrial Revolution came along only when we had that structure in place. It took us another leap. The reaction to the Industrial Revolution and the steepness of that pyramid, it got too steep. In Asia, the idealists created communism, which was a failure. Our reaction, Teddy Roosevelt flattened out the pyramid a little bit. Unions came along, but Teddy Roosevelt let out some steam. He saw ahead, we gotta mellow this thing out. Then the Germans were landlocked, fighting over colonial powers and a variety of other political reasons, created World War I. Then we mismanaged the end of the First World War, which created the Second World War. And World War II stimulated us in science and nuclear technologies and created the American century, branding and marketing. Then the Cold War ended. Then there was an uncertain structure after the Cold War. What were the new James Bond movies going to be about now? Rapid growth, globalization, free eating of the financial system, meltdown. Here we are today. Biggest issues, our monetary system, intellectual property. That's as we climb up that pyramid. Sometimes that's all you have left is intellectual property. And that's even at risk, especially in areas like biotech and engineering. Is there going to be a new space age? Are we going to work together? Is the population going to level off? These are some of the questions we're looking at.